variance of opinions about the details involved. And the young men who will be playing tomorrow, you young men out there, were not involved in this. And you have a responsibility to do your job to the best of your capabilities because you are representing the University of Tennessee.
Franklin, welcome once again to CFA primetime coverage here on ESPN of college football. That interview you saw just a moment ago with Johnny Majors was one that I did with him late yesterday afternoon, and Johnny Majors was a very upset gentleman about what happened. So was the administration of this university. Gary Danielson joins me on the telecast here tonight, and with the suspension of the 3 players and the nature of everything that has happened, what kind of effect might it have, if any, on Tennessee this evening?
Ron, I have to be honest. I played a long time, and I've had guys suspended on my team preceding a key game like this, but nothing this serious before. I have to honestly say that it might not affect the players as much as it affected the whole institution here. We've got people that have pointed for a game like this for years. Athletic department, teachers, alumni, and there's a cloud over it right now. I feel sorry for everybody, but it's a serious situation.
Well, let's talk about the game that we have tonight. First of all, let's talk about the triple header here on ESPN today. The first game wound up in a tie. The second game was a 1-point game. When you look at these 2 teams tonight, Florida and Tennessee on paper, Gary, they are so close. I don't know how you pick a winner.
Well, there's no reason why it shouldn't be a close game. We've got 2 tremendous offenses, a little bit different. Florida passes the ball a little bit. Tennessee's going to do it on the ground. So you look for something to tip the balance. And I think the thing that's going to tip the balance is 3 receivers that Tennessee has. Many colleges don't have. Carl Pickens, Anthony Morgan, and Alvin Harper, all members of the Tennessee track team. And the reason it's important is because Florida has a defense that's a little different than most college teams have. They run a 4-4 with 4 linebackers, and they have a gator back. His name is Godfrey Miles. You see him right there. He's a linebacker. And when Tennessee spreads him out across the field, he's going to have some tough matchups. And it's going to be a matchup that they're going to try to take apart and run the ball against. So it should be real interesting.
Both of these teams are undefeated. And, of course, as you heard us say last week, the Florida Gators cannot compete for the SEC title because of NCAA probation. However, every week is their bowl game, and particularly tonight, this would be a very big star in their crown.
If bowl games are bigger than this, I'd like to be a part of it. These guys are really jacked up to play this, and every time they win another game, the next one's going to be another bowl game. So a little bit of an edge to Florida there. They're really pointing for this football game.
2 teams, as I said, who do not have a loss on their record. And if you want to see 97,000 come unglued, let's take a look down at the field. As first of all, this first group will not necessarily electrify them, but the Florida Gators are raring and ready to come out of that south end of the stadium. And right now we can see that the Tennessee band is still out there marching, so probably we are not going to get the Florida Gator football team out there right now. We understand that as soon as the band moves past this move right here, that the Florida Gators are going to be coming out.
First things first, we got 95,000 people that want to see the band out there first.
Well, that's for sure. Steve Spurrier, of course, is from Johnson City, Tennessee, and he is coming back to his home state, and here's the welcome for the Gators. To the Heisman Trophy, 1956. The gentleman standing in front of head coach Johnny Majors. And right now they are about to cue the Volunteers, and here comes the world to an end. The capacity of this stadium is listed at just under 92,000, but the ticket office told us yesterday 97.5 is what they are anticipating. Joey Chapman, he is a redshirt freshman out of Franklin, Tennessee, will kick it off. That's number 84, Harrison Houston, a true freshman from Pensacola. And to the other side, 81, Monty Duncan, a redshirt freshman from St. Augustine, Florida. We are set. Let's play football. Houston from the goal line. Breaks it out to the 24-yard line. Here are the die-hard starting lineups for the Florida Gators on offense tonight. Shane Matthews out of Pascagoula, Mississippi at quarterback. Behind him, Dexter McNabb is the fullback. Eric Rett is the tailback. The wide receivers, very good ones. Terrence Barber and Ernie Mills. The tight end, here is the feature of the offense. Kirkpatrick. The center is Cal Dixon. The two guards, Ismail and Brumley. And the tackles, Glenn Neely and Mark White. Florida opens with a single setback. Matthews going to scramble it. 5, now 10. And let's take a look at the Volunteers defensively tonight. They run from the 4-3. Mark Moore and Kerry Bailey, the tackles. The defensive ends, Chris Mims and Chuck Smith. The linebacker in the middle, Sean Walker. On the outside, Darrell Hardy. What a great one against Auburn he had. Ernest Fields on the other side. The corners, Jeremy Lincoln and Floyd Miley. At the safeties, Mark Fletcher and Dale Carter. Just shy of the first down for the Florida Gators. This is Rett. No place to go, and he'll be knocked down at the 29-yard line. Hardy is down at the bottom of the stack, and also Chuck Smith, number 56. So it's going to be a third down Florida, and the line to make is the 35-yard line. A moment ago, I said that they had just a short distance. I was thinking that they had taken it out to the 20, but the return had come to the 25. With the four-man rush, and he will be sacked. Kerry Bailey, the first man to get to him.
Kerry Bailey got in as Shane Matthews. Chris Mims caused some problems. Chris Mims, of course, in the game because of the suspension to Casey Rogers. Tennessee went with a nickel defense the first time in a passing situation. Something different for Florida.
Dale Carter, the deep man, number 8 in the NCAA in punt returns. Arden Krzyzewski took over the duties on a regular basis just last week for the Florida Gators, replacing Jason Haley. From the 34. Breaks off the first wave, and he will finally be stopped at the 44-yard line. Let's check the offensive starters for the Tennessee Volunteers. Andy Kelly at quarterback. His running backs, Tony Thompson, the tailback. Roland Poles, the big fullback. The wide receivers, Anthony Morgan and Alvin Harper. Both are great ones. The tight end is Mark Adams. The center is John Fisher. Tom Myslinski and Doug Baird, the guards. And the tackles, Charles McRae and Antone Davis. And Johnny Majors will tell you quickly that this is as good a group, cumulatively speaking, as an offensive line as he had had in a very long time in coaching. Thompson tries to turn the corner. He's going to be knocked down for a loss, and it's the Gator back, Godfrey Miles, number 98, who is there. The Gators defensively, Culpepper and Gaines are the defensive tackles. The defensive ends, Huey Richardson and Mark Murray. Tim Paulk, one of the inside backers, along with Jerry Odom. On the outside, Fee Bartley and Godfrey Miles. He's the Gator back. The cornerbacks, Richard Fain and Jimmy Spencer. And the single safety is Will White. Pass is zipped complete to Harper at the 45. Good for a gain of 12.
Tennessee spreads them out right away, and they go to Harper, their big play guy. It's a zone. You can see number 98. That's the Gator back, and he just curls around, and a nice throw by Kelly. Hits him right between the numbers. Get down. Nice first down. Very good. Spread the field out and throw to the side of the linebacker that's covering your big speed guy.
We talked a couple of weeks ago about this great group of receivers during that Auburn game, and we'll be talking more about them, but track guys with great athletic ability. This is Poles, the fullback, breaks it inside the 40, and he's down to the Florida 38.
This is called their jumbo offense, Ron. They bring everybody, the big ones in. Daphne's in there blocking, and they give it to Amsler. This guy is a heck of a football player. Can catch the ball and run, and this, when they get in that short yardage situation, they just run the ball and gain positive yards all night. Roland Poles had a great block on the play also. The fullback.
Actually, Poles the ball carrier, I believe.
Oh, was Poles had?
Yeah. They interchange those guys regularly, 47 and 42. Thompson. Oh, my goodness, what a hit. Godfrey Miles, was it? No, Tim Paulk, 99.
Timmy Paulk, the linebacker, leading tackler for the Gator defense. From middle linebacker, he can string it along. He's the beneficiary of this four-man line, and he can come across and make the big hits. He's just a deluxe hitter.
Let me give you a piece of trivia here. Blue pants the Florida Gators are wearing tonight, the first time that they have worn them since Doug Dickey, who is now the AD here at Tennessee, back in 1978. Players wanted to wear them tonight. Inside carry down to around the 30-yard line is Poles. Johnny Majors.
Been a tough couple days for Coach Majors. He had this team ready to play this game, had a couple weeks off after that tough tie against Auburn, and all of a sudden he has to deal with, extracurricular things, and he has to get this team ready to play. But they look like they're ready to play. Here they go. The three wide receivers are in the game.
And Florida doesn't get spread out as 57 Jerry Odom along with Mark Murray, and you could hear the headgears clash. Wow. Well, it's kind of what we expected as far as two clubs that love to get after the opposition and particularly each other.
Well, it looks like Kelly called the play and changed it to run that way, and it just didn't work. So it's field goal time.
Burke to attempt the field goal. It will be a 48-yard attempt. Will not have the distance. He is short. .934 left in the opening period. Florida and Tennessee battling. Video of yesterday's homecoming parade. Held just outside the stadium here yesterday afternoon. Pass complete to Rhett out of the backfield and close to the 39 as Darrell Hardy will make the first hit for the Volunteers.
A real trademark of the Steve Spurrier offense is he likes to get the backs involved. He moves up the linebackers early in the game by dumping the ball, and then that opens those crossing patterns in that dead spot behind those linebackers in the second half or later in the game.
Mark Moore is a part of the Florida backfield almost, as that one is going to be snuffed for no gain, and it's going to bring up a third down situations. One of the things that Steve Spurrier talked with Gary and I about yesterday afternoon was he was hoping that their ability to pass block and to run block would improve this week, because he knew that Tennessee would be probably the toughest test they've had.
Well, they're the best athletes they've had to block, and it's going to be a real struggle for their offensive line to keep them out all night.
McNabb tries to break off the tackle. He will be stopped just as he crosses the 40 by Chris Mims. The chain is all the way across the way, and from here it's a little tough to tell, but Gary, I don't think he has it. Nope, not from where they've spotted.
And I think it was an audible again. They were faking blitz and a quick option play, and Chris Mims did a great job of getting back on the play. It'll be 4th and short. There you see the replay, a little penetration. He has to pitch it quicker than he wants. And then look at Mims. He forces the quarterback to pitch it, and he's quick enough to get back out and grab McNabb. Great play by Mims.
Gary, for a moment, Florida had left the offensive team on the field. Now the kicking team has just come on. The first effort was good for 35 yards. As you look at number 18, Dale Carter, the junior from Oxford, Georgia.
They're going to get a delay. Well, they did. There it is. That just took too long to get that sorted out.
Dead ball. delay of the game, offensive team, 5-yard penalty.
Ron, you know, when we visited with Coach Spurrier, also said when he was at Duke, he'd go for those situations a little bit more often because he knew he had to score a lot of points with that Duke defense. But with the defense he has now, he's more inclined to punt in those situations. A little bit of that gambling came back from him for just a second, though. He said, well, no, not yet, punt it.
Jajewski waits back at the 20. Carter on the run, fumbles the ball, still loose, and that will be Tennessee football because possession was never gained by the Gators as they knocked it out of bounds at the 27. Brent Ellis was the first man there.
Well, Dale Carter, the junior college transfer, is a great punt returner. He usually takes them north and south, but he's got to catch them. And now, oh my God, panic all over him. He knows everybody's coming, and he's going to get hit, and there it goes. Rolling, rolling, rolling it out of here. Well, that can turn the field upside down. You can do it with a punt block, but also when you fumble them and muff them like this.
Looked like Carter was dribbling it there for a moment. I know football, or basketball begins around the nation, or can officially tomorrow evening at 12 midnight. Maybe he wanted Coach Houston to take a look at his abilities. Play action. Complete to the 32 to Von Reeves. Von is a junior from right here in Knoxville. That's his 7th catch of the year. Now good for 50 yards in the season. Tennessee doesn't utilize their tight end nearly like Florida does as far as their offensive scheme. Amsler close to the 35. Going to be shy of the first down by a couple is Brad Culpepper, the junior from Tallahassee, who was having a very outstanding year for the Gators, was there defensively.
I like this Amsler. He's just a real good back. You know, he's hidden to most of the average fans, but the scouts know who he is, and he's going to get involved. And you're right about Culpepper. When we talked to the coaches, they said, watch this guy. He's very underrated.
6'2", 264 pounds. Thompson has to take it to the outside, has the speed to turn the corner, and he'll have the Tennessee first down as Jimmy Spencer knocked him out of bounds. Well, we have just been told that this is the 2nd largest crowd in Tennessee Vol history. Over 97,000. We'll get you an exact figure sometime before the evening is over. Oh, there it is. They're going to say 96 now. 96,874.
They must not be counting all the people that Florida brought along in the press corps, because they brought everyone, I think.
Pitch to Thompson. Nice defensive play. Huey Richardson, the senior from Atlanta, outside containment, and he came up then and made the tackle.
What you'll see here is a game plan on that unbalanced line. They put McCray and Davis together to try to put somebody on Huey Richardson. Huey runs around McCray, though, and makes the tackle in the backfield. What they're going to try to do is get somebody in Huey's face all night and not give him that big run. And sometimes they're going to do it by going on balanced line. In that instance, they did. Not much success, though.
Looking near sideline for Harper. Had him open for just a second as Spencer was defending on the play, but it was well overthrown. And now will be 3rd down Tennessee.
Overthrown and thrown a little bit late. If he was going to throw that ball, he had to do about a second earlier, because to lead him properly, he had to lead him almost to the fence. And Harper's very, very quick, and Kelly's got to do those play actions quicker and get ready to read it and throw it.
Philip Fulmer, the offensive coordinator for Tennessee. It's an unusual situation. He's the offensive line coach. His comments about Kelly said he's an offensive line coach's dream because he really stays in the pocket. He doesn't get nervous feet and make the offensive line look bad.
Well, looky here. Tennessee with no backs. That's a changeup.
Ball tipped at the line of scrimmage. I think Mike Brandon, number 97, is the man who got a hand on it. He's a junior from Perry, Florida.
Well, it's a good thing this ball was tipped, too, because Keith Jeter is playing the rover back, number 31 in the center of the field, and he's got that bead on that. Kelly misread it, and he's throwing the ball to Pickens. A changeup, a dime defense by Florida.
End over end kick. This is Terrence Barber. Poole, if he gets through the two defenders, as a flag comes down at the 40-yard line. There was a lot of running room up the near side of the field. We will check the penalty flag. Jimmy Harper, our referee tonight, one of the veterans of the SEC wars and one of the really good officials in the country.
Got incidental face mask. Digging team, 5-yard penalty, 5-yard penalty.
Inadvertent face mask here, reaching out, trying to make the tackle. Really couldn't see it very well, but hey, there's the signal. The player's giving it.
4:44. Florida, Tennessee, no score. 4:44 left to play in this opening quarter. Gary talked about how close these two teams are matched as far as offensive and defensive performance.
Smokey's drooling on this game already.
7th as far as overall scoring, 6th in defense, 8th in offense, 3rd for Tennessee in scoring, 12th in offense, and 6th in passing defense.
Florida going with no backs. These guys are trying to mirror each other.
Pass is incomplete at the 50-yard line. Darrell Hardy with the cover on the play.
Tennessee's in a zone against the 3 receivers to the left side of the field. What you have to do now is just read it, who's crossing, who's going, and they just lock onto a guy underneath. They've got 2 free safeties deep, and Hardy makes a good play.
Sean Walker out of the ball game at middle linebacker. Roderick Lewis checks in as an extra defensive back for the Volunteers. Pass is caught by Barber. Around the 35-yard line as Ernest Fields was trying to cover, but it's good for 23.
Great timing by Shane Matthews here. He's going to let this ball go right on the break, and Terrence Barber runs it right to the sideline, right into your living room, hits him right in the face mask with it. First down, had a good matchup, knew where to go to the outside, man-to-man short again with 2 deep safeties. That seems to be the standard so far.
That's the initial first down for the Florida Gators in this ball game. Matthews, good protection, incomplete. Trey Everett, who has been suffering from an injury, actually a rib high up in his chest, and he has seen limited action over the last 3 weeks. He was the intended receiver.
Trey, 165-pound sophomore. He said it's just a bruised rib, I believe they're thinking it is. Getting a lot of treatment on it and feeling a lot better this week.
On second down, Matthews intercepted by Tennessee, Sean Walker.
Number 45, Walker, has Kirkpatrick man-to-man. He understands where he's vulnerable to the middle of the field. He reads it, he turns, perfect. Runs underneath his receiver and gets the big pickoff. If their linebackers can cover Kirkpatrick tonight, that's going to be a big plus for this Tennessee defense.
Sean Walker, you remember early in the first quarter, was kicked out of the Auburn game, and we didn't see much of it. But the coaches had talked about he had great abilities, and he certainly showed it right there.
Well, Sean played as a true freshman here at Tennessee, and he showed all the agility you need to cover Kirkpatrick. That's a big bonus for this Tennessee defense.
Fake to Thompson, rolls the pass, complete to Mark Adams, and he is out to the 35-yard line. That's only the 4th catch of the year, as Tennessee showing a little different wrinkle using their tight ends tonight.
They're rolling the pocket a little bit for Kelly, trying to get him out of the way a little bit. And what happens there is Harvey Thomas slams into Huey and then bounces out to the sideline off Richardson, giving him a little help and trying to give him a little bit of a changeup on that as he's releasing. Good plays.
Kelly now 3 of 5 for 29 yards. Quick pass tipped at the line of scrimmage, and I believe Huey Richardson or Carlton Miles, one of the two, either 31 or 90, got a hand on it at the line of scrimmage.
It was an audible. Florida was up, everybody up that time, and Kelly audible to a quick pass. They were going to run a stop. What happens in this play, though, is the offensive line has to get those guys down, chop those legs. You know you don't have enough time to hold them very long, so you just come up and chop real quick. Miles got his hands on it, though.
Kelly zings it, has it complete to Harper. Right in front of the Tennessee bench, it's Jimmy Spencer who was trying to mirror him, but he couldn't, and it's a gain of 12.
This is a very tough matchup for the Gator defense. Harper can run like the wind. He's the anchor of the 4x100 track team here at Tennessee. Here you see Kelly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turns and throws and puts it right on the fingertips. Very, very nice. Jimmy Spencer is just giving too much room, and I don't blame him. A guy can run like that. It's going to be very tough. They cannot have that matchup all night.
McRae, Myslinski, and Fisher with a very good job of protection on that play as well. Going to be a loss of a couple of yards in the play, back to the 46. Jim Bates. Well, he was coaching. He is a Tennessee ex. And you remember the guys he played with? Hacksaw Reynolds and Steve Kiner. I'll tell you what, mentally anyway, let alone physically, he has to be a very tough guy.
If you can play with those guys, you've got coach written all over you just to survive it.
Tony Thompson, the lone setback for Tennessee. Thompson in the draw. What a change of direction, and he is close to the first down at the 42-yard line as Tim Pauk made the stop for the Gators.
Well, Thompson's averaging over 7 yards per carry. Of course, they lost All-American Chuck Webb, but Thompson's filled the shoes, and he's done it. Of course, he's got a great offensive line, but watch how he finds the opening on the draw. He goes up the middle, and now watch him jump to his right and accelerate through there to pick up the big yardage and turn it into now a 3rd and 1 instead of a long yardage situation.
Foles, not sure. Going to be very close. And from where the line judge on the far side of the field, I don't know. It looks as though Godfrey Miles made a hit. I'm not sure.
Well, it looks like 4th down to me, or very, very close to a first down. Yes, 4th and short.
Jimmy Harper says we're not going to measure. It is 4th down.
I think your coach shows your team something when you have confidence in going for these early in the game. And with that type of team, if he didn't go for it with the big lineman he has this year, I think you'd give a little bit of your team that you don't trust it. Right now he's saying, we trust you. Go out and get that first down.
Tennessee players asking for quiet from this 96,000 plus. Straight ahead with the sneak, and they'll have it. Mike Brandon is somewhere down on the bottom of that stack making the stop.
Well, quarterbacks don't love those quarterback sneaks very often, but when it's 4th and inches, it's a very, very good play, and it's very tough to stop. Offensive line just has to dig in and keep the feet moving and just get a little bit of a push, and it's a first down. You know, basically, if you don't fumble the snap on those and lose your momentum, you can pick it up most of every time.
I think you can tell what the crowd thinks of this measurement. They don't think there needs to be one.
Sure looked like he pushed forward for more than 6 or 7 inches.
Now we're going to see. The chain gang had turned the chain into spaghetti for a moment, so they had to stop and get that baby straightened out. Whoa! From the stripe forward, that's not very far.
Here's the sneak right now. 2 guys right there. He gets moving forward. Now, I think that's a bad spot. He obviously gained a couple feet on that play, and it wasn't that far to go in the first place. So he just got a bad spot, and that sometimes happens because there's just so many guys you get pushed back, and the referee has to run up there and put his foot somewhere. Sometimes if he's left-footed or right-footed, as a referee, makes a difference depending which way he's looking on the play.
Here comes the reverse. And Moore cuts it back inside, and he'll be around the 41-yard line. Excited everybody pretty quickly there, but then just as quickly it ended as Fee Bartley and Mark Murray were there to put an end to it.
Well, there's a play that's going to help you later in the game anyway, because Gator defense just pursues all over the field. You have to show them that you have that play in your arsenal and you're willing to run it. Florida coming in with a dime. 6 defensive backs on the field right now.
Kelly zings it complete to Poles, his running back, and he is close to the first down. Let's check on the scoreboard and what else is happening tonight. Oh, with that, Timmy, we have no score, and the first 15 minutes goes in the record books. Florida nothing tonight. This is the 9th play of the drive for Tennessee. 3rd down and inches. Amsler, and he wants to throw the ball and almost throws an interception. Tim Pauk, number 99, was the closest guy to it, and Fee Bartley, number 44, was the guy putting on the pressure. Well, you have a feeling that they might stow that play away for several years?
I like the call, though, because you can bust it open right here. And what I like about it is because I knew they were going to go for it on 4th down. They've got to play after. But what I don't like about it is he threw it to about 3 white shirts. If you're going to throw it up in the 1st or 2nd row. Johnny Majors had his heart in his throat on that one.
Thompson hurdles, nobody there. Whoa. First down, Tennessee.
Hurdling might not be the right adjective on this one, Ron. He jumps and he flies sideline. There he goes, jumping up and up and up. Hey, somebody catch me, would you? I don't want to just land on the ground here. When you jump like that, you don't expect to land on your face. Up, wow, where's the water?
And you can see Jerry Odom, number 57, was trying to get up to go airborne with him, and he got submarined, and Jerry went down.
Usually they handle the fullback and try to push. That was a little different. They went over the top.
11th play of the drive, looks for his primary, not there, and he just throws it away. Carl Pickens was the closest guy to it. Spencer had good coverage on him as well. So credit the Florida secondary with a very good job. As you could see, that Kelly looked to his right first. Primary wasn't there, and then he went over to Pickens, and nothing doing either.
Well, Phil Fulmer likes that he gets rid of the ball and doesn't take a sack. But I think Andy has a little bit more time to look around. He had 4 receivers out there. He doesn't have to be quite that anxious to get rid of it. He can hold on. His line's doing a good job for him.
Incomplete. Vince Moore was the guy that he was intending to pass for. Huey Richardson was putting on the pressure. The storyline in this one so far is we have no score. Walker with the interception to halt a big Florida drive early. Total yards, Florida 33, Tennessee 85. Kelly 5 of 10 for 90 yards in time of possession. Kind of lopsided. Tennessee almost 2/3 of that opening quarter. They had the ball, but they came away with no points. Tennessee leaving both tight ends in a slot formation for blocking reasons. That's Pickens. Got him loose, and Bartley will throw him out of bounds at the 13.
Very good read by Kelly here. He knew he had a great athlete one-on-one. He just ran out, the 2 tight ends blocked, and he threw it to Pickens. Watch it, he knows what he's got. Man-on-man, turns, get rid of the ball, get it out of your hand fast, and now dance, turn, and Spear just does not make the tackle. That's what you got to do. Get it in out of your hand, Kelly. Go, good. Get a touchdown pass out of this. Wow, I throw it 3 yards. Oh, gee, went out of bounds.
Pass is complete to Mark Adams. Now, he had been in tight to block, and that time they slid him out in the flat. Fee Bartley again on the stop for Florida.
Now that's a good job by Kelly this time. That time the people downfield weren't open. He stayed patient and went to his drop-off man. Get a couple yards out of it. You don't just need to toss it out of bounds right away. You know those offensive coordinators and our line coaches? They like you to throw it out of bounds right away. I like to hang with it just a little longer. Come on, coach. Have faith in me.
14 plays on a drive. It started back at the 21. 67 yards they've covered. 5.5 minutes Tennessee has eaten up so far. Puts it up. incomplete, and the flag comes down, and now a second one. That's going to be on Richard Fain.
Well, Fain had man on man, and it was a race to the corner, and I don't think Fain has the type of speed to keep up. You could see the space being created, and Fain just had to grab him. It was a perfect throw.
An automatic first down on the 2-yard line.
Anthony Morgan, now look at a pick speed. If he doesn't grab right there, that's a touchdown. That's about as obvious a pass interference as the Michigan pass interference that cost him the game early. There it is. Grab him, tackle him. Well, it's better than a touchdown.
Florida making some quick last-minute substitutions as quickly. Tennessee to the line of scrimmage. 1st and goal from the 2. Thompson hurdles. Nope, they're going to stay down at the 1-foot line. Feet got in, but the rest of his body was back upfield as he went 360.
That's amazing. I want to see the guy do it again. That is fun, I'll tell you. Last time he landed on his face, and this time he does a whirly bird up there. They're gonna name a circus ride after this guy pretty soon. Watch it. Somebody's gonna catch his feet this time as he jumps over. When you catch him and you're in midair, whoop, catch the feet and head over heels. And he's down. That's right, he's down.
It was one of his own teammates,
If
Gary.
he was carrying the ball on his feet, it would have been a touchdown. No, it was Timmy Polk.
Yep, it sure was.
Right on the shoe tops. I didn't like the spot 1st and goal from the 2 to begin with.
Amsler, touchdown, Tennessee. Plays on the drive by Tennessee. Burt makes it 7.
Give the credit to Myslinski, Fisher, McCray. They just push and push and push, and Amsler gets the jump. Now that's a fullback. How a fullback jumps. He gets off the ground maybe 2-3 inches. It's not like a halfback. He jumps. He's going to say, I got off the ground. I didn't get up real high, but I got off the ground. Just pushed it in.
So Tennessee takes it. Cross country, 7-0. Volunteers have broken on top first. 12:31 remaining 2nd quarter. Joey Chapman to kick it off for Tennessee. And it's going to go out of bounds. They will do it again from the 30-yard line.
One more look at this touchdown. When you get pushed into the end zone like this, even a fullback can jump over. Get up, Greg. Yep, he's into the end zone. First rushing touchdown against the Florida defense this season. Greg Amsler
takes it in. 16 plays, 79 yards, using up 6 minutes and 47 seconds. Here's a good look at Greg. And the point that Gary made a while ago is very well taken, because Poles is starting, although they alternate their fullbacks a lot, but yet we've heard a lot of scouts talking about Amsler. So I think it says something about the strength that Tennessee has at fullback when the pros are talking maybe even more about the guy that doesn't start.
Well, Poles, nothing against Poles, because he's a fine back and he's caught a couple passes okay, but what they like about Amsler is he can catch the ball, and as you saw, he has the ability to throw it. He's a good athlete, and fullbacks who can pick up linebackers and can give you a little dump off is very valuable in pro football.
This one is fumbled by the upback at the 25. Across the 30 and to the 33-yard line. It's Ed Robinson who made the return. Well, College game day next Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, and Charlene Hawks, and they'll be back to bring you another outstanding hour. That's a great show every week to get you ready for. We hope next week's triple header is as great as this day's has been. It's Iowa at Michigan, the first game of the afternoon. The second one will be Alabama at Tennessee. And then next Saturday night, Gary and I will be in Auburn, Alabama, Florida State, and Auburn. I think next Saturday will be as great as today. Matthews, little backside pressure. Going to run it in very wisely. Steps right out of bounds. Chuck Smith was coming from the backside, but Jeremy Lincoln also was creeping up in a hurry.
When you talk to Steve Spurrier, the guy that they were worried about, Chuck Smith, I mean, he gives them a little matchup problems. Glenn Neely, the left tackle, has to come through and keep Chuck Smith out of the backfield. Chuck is just so active, such a good athlete at rushing the passer. He lines up on both sides.
Steve Spurrier, just as last week, since it's a night game, no visor for him. Set the screen to the near side to Rhett. Oh, nice move behind the block, and he'll take it across the 45 to the 46. His whole season's going to go the way it's been going. 8 different teams had first-place votes this week in the AP poll. I've never seen that many first-place tallies. Says that nobody can make up their mind. Pressure, and it's going to be Todd Kelly substituting for Chris Mims, and he gets his first sack.
Todd Kelly on the play action beats Glenn Neely. Watch him from the right side of your screen. Little play action pass. He comes off and he's right around Neely. Too quick. Glenn Neely has to move his feet a little bit better because the coverage was pretty good, but I mean that has been very good. That's what they've had to do. Mims has made a play. Kelly has made a play because Casey Rogers is not in the game, and those two guys have stepped up and had so far a big factor in this football game.
Second sack, loss of 15 by Florida. Gators need the Tennessee 44. Pass perfectly thrown and incomplete. Trey Everett had cut in between, and I'm not sure you could throw it any better than that. It went in and out of his hands. Mark Fletcher might have got an arm on him to make him cough it up.
Well, Fletcher was there. I'll tell you the truth. Shane Matthews misread this a little bit. They had a combination coverage to that side, but he put it right on the money. 3 guys around it, and Trey's got to make that catch. When you throw him that good as a quarterback, you come back and kind of give the guy the eye and say, hey, come on. We got to have those.
Third down. Matthews will be sacked again. Shazan Bradley this time. And Kelly with an assist.
Well, this has been the big fear, that the Miami offensive line would get pushed around a little bit. And Shazan Bradley made the big sack here. The Florida, look at it, they get pushed right back into the pocket, and he has to get around. And the Florida offensive line has to be a little bit more aggressive and keep that pocket.
So the Florida offensive line having problems with that big rush from Tennessee. Arden will have to punt again. This is going to be a line drive kick. Takes a Florida bounce and comes out of bounds at the 34-yard line. 10 minutes left until halftime. 10 minutes in length to push it into the end zone. Kelly's pass incomplete because Amsler got whacked from behind. That's fine defense. James Spear is the one who put the wood on him. And the top teams in the last 23 games that they have played in their schedule: Tennessee 19-1-2, the Notre Dame, Miami, and Florida State, of course, 19-3.
Some names that you slip up a couple times, you're off the first page.
1956, that man was the runner-up in the Heisman Trophy balloting behind who? Paul Hornung of Notre Dame. Missed it by 12. Fumbled the snap as a flag comes down, and I believe it's going to be procedure. Even if Florida had recovered that, I think the play would have been whistled dead by Jimmy Harper.
Well, obviously the quarterback, Andy Kelly, pulled out early, and usually that's a case when a center misses the snap count because everybody else looked like they were moving a little bit. Either that or the quarterback forgets it, and that happens a lot.
Got illegal motion. Offensive team decline, be third down.
That always brings a chuckle out of everybody. How does the quarterback ever forget the snap count? But you're telling everybody what to do, and you've got numbers this way and that way. It happens all. Well, it happened to me all the time. I don't know if that's too much, but I've seen a few other guys turn around and say, "What's the snap count on?" Usually, when you're talking to your backs, that's what you're asking.
Kelly zings it quickly, has it to his tight end Von Reeves, and the junior takes it up close to the 40. But Monty Grove, who was a backup at free safety, a sophomore from Inverness, was there to make the stop, and Tennessee will have to punt it back. And Tennessee has a player down. Still not able to read his number. I believe Von Reeves.
He got hit by Montegro just as he caught it, and as he got up, he looked a little weak on the leg. Monty came up and hit him, and that's actually Florida did exactly what they wanted. They wanted him to throw short, come up, make the tackle, and that's good defense right there. Give him that short pass.
We mentioned early on in the ball game, Tennessee changing things up a little bit, or using the tight ends a little more. The tight ends had only caught 9 passes coming into this ball game.
There you see he gets it, and here he comes full speed, hits him a little low and catches that ankle under and kind of turns it.
Chapman to punt, waiting back at the 26. Beautiful hanging spiral. This is Barber from the 22. Turns the corner and pushed out of bounds at the 39-yard line. That's a kick of 39 and a return of 17, and Floyd Miley is the guy who pushed him out of bounds. Now let's take a look at the standings in the SEC. Florida 3-0, 5-0 overall. Auburn 2-0-1. Tennessee 1-0-1. Of course, they tied just a couple of weeks ago. Ole Miss won today over Georgia. They are off to the best start since back pre-Archie Manning days. In fact, you have to go back to Johnny Vaught days.
There's the surprise team of the SEC, no doubt. And they're playing very good football, very aggressive, good football.
Draw play to McNabb. Ernest Fields holding on for dear life as he gets it up close to the 44, now the 45.
Well, the coaching book says in Coaching 101, when you're having trouble pass blocking, hit him with a couple screens, hit him with a couple draws, and keep him off balance. I don't only mean to simplify what Steve's trying to do, but Steve says there's no magic about my pass offense. We just teach very well, and we make them do the same things and the right things.
Matthews drills it over the middle. That's Willie McClendon, his running back, and that'll be enough for the first down at the 50-yard line. Shane Matthews' father is a head football coach. He's from Pascagoula, Mississippi, 6'2", 184 pounds.
Here you see Kirkpatrick, a guy that Tennessee has to take away from this offense. Look at it, double team him, they hit him and jam him, and that's what they have to do. That's who Matthews was looking for on the play, and that's who they're really, Lacewell is trying to stop with different defenses.
Well, you want to know why? He's already caught 24 balls this year. McClendon, big opening up the middle, and he is close to another Florida first down. Dave Thomas, who is subbing for Floyd Miley right now, a junior from Miami, comes up to make the stop and going to spot it down at the 43-yard line of Tennessee. Willie McClendon, career rushing over 1,000 yards and an average of almost 5. That is very impressive. 1 carry tonight, that's good for 8. McClendon again. Nice move to the inside. First down and counted off at 5, 6, 7 more. Ernest Fields makes the tackle. It is good for 11.
McClendon's going to take this ball and read the blocking very well this time. He gets it to him deep so he can see the hole, and then he cuts and slashes and then cuts to the outside. McClendon getting the ball deep in that I formation. Every back loves to run the ball deep from the eye like that.
Willie is a junior from Jacksonville, 6 feet 223. Tennessee scored on the long drive, and now here come back the Gators. What a catch by McClendon. This has been the Willie show. Inside the 25 to the 24. Walker made the stop, but I thought for the world that was going to be overthrown.
Matthews with the play-action pass, and you're right, it did look a little high. He was backing up as he threw the ball, and he really got something on this one. You know, he says sometimes I don't have a great arm, but look at that, right with the fingertips. Again, he ducks under and gets a couple more yards. Willie, nice job.
Harlan Davis comes from offense to defense, number 86 in the secondary for Tennessee on this play. McClendon on the cutback, and he's to the 20. And let's go back to the studio and check in with Tim one more time.
Hard to believe, but true, Ron. Texas Tech at 1-4 goes into Fayetteville and beats Arkansas, and the Hogs have relinquished 103 points in the last 2 weeks to TCU and Texas Tech. Pretty amazing. Second consecutive loss in Arkansas for the Hogs, the Southwest Conference champions of a year ago.
Thanks, Tim. And they still got some real toughies coming up down the road. Matthews on first down. Over the middle, knocked away by Ernest Fields.
Real nice play that time. Reaches over, doesn't interfere, gets around him, just sees the play. Ernest Fields reading the quarterback's eyes. Matthews turns back, throws a nice hard pass, but actually bumped him a little bit. But he got his hand on the ball. You get your hand on the ball in those cases, sometimes you get away with it.
8th play of the drive. That's a semi-oops, I guess. Throwing it back, and he's got him open, and he dropped the ball. Oh, my goodness. Fletcher was there on the cover. And Kirkpatrick, who has as good a hands as anybody in this conference, couldn't come up with it.
They finally get the matchup they've been working on. They love to go play-action passes inside the 20-yard line. They get it. They get the ISO one-on-one. Kirkpatrick. Matthews puts it right there for the touchdown. He drops the ball.
And you remember the story that we related last week after being down in Gainesville and watching the tight ends, that they didn't drop a football all afternoon long, and they take great pride in working on that.
I haven't seen them drop one. That's the first one I've seen them drop in 2 practices and 2 games now.
Pressure's on. He's got a lot of running room. And he will dive forward short of the first down as Dale Carter came up to nail him.
Well, he had a lot of room, but he kind of lost his balance right there, and he was looking at that first down marker and working as hard as he could, but he also saw those orange shirts closing in on him, and I think they're probably just going to have to settle for the field goal here. Watch Shane, he looks back, had a couple people to dump to, but it's just too inviting, too much space, and he runs, and oh my God, there's too many people, and he doesn't think he can get out of bounds, and he just kind of gets a flat tire on about the 12-yard line.
Krzyzewski with the field goal attempt. It will come from the far hash mark, 30 yards. And he nails it. So with 4 minutes, 53 seconds, as you look at Krzyzewski, and Arden is down. We don't see any flags on the field, but obviously somebody made contact with him because, well, he's up and okay.
Here you see Jeremy Lincoln. He's going to get blocked in Krzyzewski here, and it's not a penalty. He gets blocked, he turns around and just bumped him. Now watch this. Holy cow, this guy, oh boy, take him to the hospital. Get an ambulance out here. That looks serious. That's as good as you can do. He's smiling still, I think, over there on the sidelines over that one. That was great.
Ryan Rulin, a freshman from Altamont Springs, Florida, will kick it off for the Gators. Dale Carter breaks through the first wave and then is going to be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line by Brent Ellis. Brent now with a couple of tackles on special teams tonight for the Gators. Ron Franklin and Gary Danielson from Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Always like getting the ball right at this 5-minute mark like this. You know, you have an opportunity to get a nice little drive. No hurry right now. Kelly 8 for 15, has been on target when he needs to. He's thrown a couple away also, I think. So he's very confident right now. And take your time and move it down. Get a field goal or a touch.
Looking for Harper. Incomplete at the 42 as he was closely covered by Will White. Will is the youngster who had 3 interceptions in the one game back against Alabama. He was named the SEC Defensive Player of the Week.
Watch Greg Amsler, number 44. That's what a back has to do. Come up and meet that linebacker near the line of scrimmage instead of sitting back in the backfield and letting that linebacker get a run at you. A very aggressive block. We're going to make a star out of Amsler tonight, Ron. We're going to just keep talking about him.
Batted down at the line of scrimmage. 97. Mike Brandon got a big hand up. And again, that time, Tennessee left the 2 tight ends in the block.
Well, they're checking. They're looking for the blitz, and when they don't get it, they check out in those short passes. When you throw short, that's when you get them knocked down because your trajectory is so much lower, and you have to throw the ball at a little lower angle than when you throw the ball 20 yards downfield. And that's when those guys jump up and bat them down.
3rd down, Tennessee. If they want to keep the drive alive, they need to go up just about the 40-yard line.
Florida comes in with a dime again.
Kelly complete to Von Reeves, short of the 1st down, and they're going to mark him just across the 36.
This is what Kelly needs, is protection like this. Huey Richardson, the All-American. Antone Davis, the All-American. Push him to the outside, and then throw the ball. That's what you have to do. Make him take the long way, keep your feet moving, and throw the ball. Had an opportunity to pick up a 1st down. Good protection.
Chapman into punt. 2 punts for an average of just over 33 per kick. Terrence Barber signaling wildly for the fair catch, and then grabs it at the 20-yard line. 44 yards in the punt. And there's a 4-yard punt by Tennessee. And the Gators take it 79.5 yards away. And they have 3:55 left until halftime. Rep to the right side. And let's go to through the 80s. 17 points was the most that Houston had scored against A&M. No Southwest Conference team had held in that low. Screen pass. They set it up to the near side of McNabb. And he will fight his way through Tennessee defenders for the 1st down. Bradley is on the bottom of that pile.
Very calm, very patient. Move the ball outside the 30. Opens up the possibility of throwing it now. They got 3:10 left in the half. They throw the little screen. They had the draw on first play. That's the way you like to start out these 2-minute, 3-minute drives. Is getting off, getting confidence, and getting a couple 1st downs. And then you go. Then they'll open up those crossing routes.
Yeah.
Florida with no backs, and here comes Fields on the blitz. Throws to, I assume, the hot receiver Trey Everett, and had to hurry it too much.
Well, actually, Florida had enough guys to pick up the blitz, Ron, but their protection was going the other direction, so he did have to read hot to the left and throw it to the wide receiver. There's nobody in the backfield, but they only brought 5. They just caught Florida in the different protection that they should have had. They should have had it left. They're protecting right.
McClendon in the ball game, and they split him way to the right. It is caught. What a catch by Terrence Barber. Inside the 50 at the 48-yard line. Good for 19. And Roderick Lewis is the man who made the tackle.
Boy, that was beautiful. Great timing. The second time that he just knows where he's going. He doesn't wait too long. Too strong of an inside technique. That's just a very, very easy throw. And he just puts it to the sideline, slides to it, and makes the catch. Very good. Barber, 2 catches for 42 yards so far.
McClendon. Shazan Bradley is the man on top holding on, and Darrell Hardy is down at the bottom. 0.0. Short drop this time and knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Chris Mims.
He saw the hand signals that time, and Mims read them also. He saw the quick block to his feet. He reads that fire protection, and he jumps up and knocks it down. Watch, they fire out of him. He just jumps, comes around, and makes the play. Mims comes from the left side of your screen over here and jumps up. You can't throw it. It's a very short pass. Chris Mims, he is 6'6", so he has an opportunity to knock some of those down.
3rd down. The Florida Gators need the Tennessee 38. Crowd will tell you if they get it. Everett will be pushed back short. Ernest Fields was the first defender to get there.
Chuck Smith is the man they were worried about. Now watch him right here. Glenn Neely has got him. He works his feet. He keeps in front of him. Just keep your butt in front of him and don't get turned upfield. That'll give you plenty of time to throw the ball. That time, Tennessee only brought 3 rushers, though, and they played deep zone coverage.
Krzyzewski will have to punt again. Clock running, just about to hit the 1-minute mark. Left until halftime. Dale Carter, the single safety. As Florida moves at the line of scrimmage, flags go down. Carter calls for the fair catch, and this is going to take a Florida bounce and out of bounds at the 12. So I would imagine that Tennessee will ask the officials to make them do it again.
Well, now, I think I might decline that one, Ron. The 12-yard line is not horrible. If you get it down there on the 1-yard line or 2-yard line, then you have a potential with a minute to go where you can't do anything. Right now, a minute to go, I might be satisfied with the 12-yard line. Chances of driving 98 and 92 yards is not great anyway, unless you're going to go for the block. That would be a possibility. If you pass them back, then it's more than 5 yards, and they go for the block and try to block one right here.
What's going through his mind? What might have been? They got the ball with 3:53 remaining, and he was, oh, the wheels are turning.
Well, this is where Steve is going to be a real valuable to his offense. He knows that they're giving him very, very different looks in the secondary. 6 defensive backs, 5 defensive backs, and confusing Shane a little bit.
Carter runs away from this one. And this time it takes a Tennessee bounce and is going to be downed up around the 23. 24 yards in the kick. Coming up at halftime, USF&G halftime report. Tim Brando and Lee Corso. And they'll talk about still another topsy-turvy Saturday in college football. I can tell you from the first 2 games that we've had on today in our triple header, the first game between Indiana and Ohio State wound up in a tie. The second game from the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, with a come-from-behind 1-point win over Oklahoma. Thompson. And he'll go down at the 32. Fee Bartley and Richard Fain combining in the stop.
Both teams playing safe right now. Florida in a deep zone, and Tennessee just patient and out to run it out.
Listen to the crowd. They want to see the ball up in the air, don't they?
Right, but they don't have to pay the penalty if it's intercepted right now. If you're going to throw the ball, you need to throw the ball down on the other half of the field very deep. You got some track guys, so maybe it is a good plan to just let her go.
Well, this might be the play that they would do it because the clock is now under 10 seconds. Yep, and that's what he's going to do. Going upstairs looking for Harper. And it is picked off by Florida. That's Will White. Cuts it back, and he may score. White tripped up as he gets inside the 30-yard line, and I think Tim Paulk, his teammate, is the man who ran into him as the clock runs out. That's the reason Johnny Majors didn't want to throw.
Well, that's what I say. That's the tough part about playing at home sometimes. The crowd influences you. Andy did not throw that ball far enough, and when he reverses the field, you're right, he has an opportunity to score here, and if he doesn't trip, he trips over his own foot.
Let me apologize to Paulk. It was Godfrey Miles, 98.
He actually trips over his own foot. Boy, he'll hear about that one the next day.
So we are at halftime, and Gary, for all the people that thought coming into this one was going to be a high-scoring affair, you hit it right before the game. Low-scoring is what you thought.
With the defenses they have in this game, both teams are still like counter-punching. It's early in this fight. We'll see what happens in the second half. Both teams can put points on the board.
So let's take a timeout. Halftime here at Neyland Stadium with our score. Tennessee. Look at that score, 7-3. So many times when you give a big build-up to a football game and it doesn't live up to the expectations. This one has lived up to everything that everybody expected as far as the closeness of the two teams.
Well, they all are kind of nowadays in college football, but really these two teams are very evenly matched. Tennessee got on the board first. 16 plays, 79-yard drives. Greg Amsler caps it off here. They push it into the end zone. He jumps up and gets the score. Tennessee jumps out 7-0.
Now, as far as the trenches are concerned, and this was one of the battles that we talked about ahead of time,
But look what Tennessee is doing. They're keeping a tight end in to help Antone Davis. They shove him, and then he comes in and cleans up on him, too. Von Reeves comes in. That's tough on Richardson, but remember, he's freeing up other guys. When 2 guys is for that, that helps out. Kirkpatrick is the other story. The Florida tight end has caught a lot of balls. The leading receiver. He's drawing extra attention also. 2 guys is watching him. They're jamming him and they're pushing him. Hasn't caught a pass tonight. But, Ron, he could have caught a pass. Here it is. A field goal is the result of this play. Shane Matthews gives it to him right in the end zone. He could have had it. 7 points. I haven't seen him drop one like that. They finally got the matchup, and he drops the ball.
And you probably won't see it happen again this year. So that is the story. Tell us about what has been the pass selection.
Well, when we talked to Shane Matthews yesterday, he said that Coach Spurrier was trying to get him to use his backs. There you see so far his pass selection. No passes to the tight ends. Of course, he had the big drop. The receivers, the wideouts, have only caught 3 passes. The running back, 5 catches. Now, that's not just by design. The Tennessee defense is doing a great job of disguising their coverages and making Matthews throw to the wrong guy in many situations.
Oh, we're set for kickoff. Ward to the near side. Morgan, number 80, to the far side of the field. 7-3, Tennessee leads. And this one is going to be taken at the 10-yard line by Morgan. Or Carter, I beg your pardon. Breaks it free, and he may go. For the touchdown. Carter, we were about to say, might have used not so good judgment to take it down at the 10-yard line and turns it into a touch. Extra point is perfect. 14-3, Tennessee. Let's look at this one again.
Ron, the Tennessee free safety, Dale Carter, he wants the ball. He plays defense all game. He takes it right on the sideline, and it's good coverage, really. He just makes a few people miss. Right here, the tackle should have been made, but he tries to block tackle right there. You got to wrap him up, and once he gets into the open field, he's gone. This guy runs like the wind, and boy, you fight all game to make it 7-3 at halftime, and all of a sudden, you kick it off, and it's 14-3 just like that. Very disappointing. Look at right here. That would have definitely gone out of bounds. Up the sideline. A couple great blocks out in front of him, but then some bad pursuit angles, and when he cuts it back, there it is. There's the tackle it should have been. Monty Gross should have wrapped him up. He just threw a block at him, and that's really what the defensive coaches all the time say. Wrap up on those tackles. Don't just try to hit him with a block.
Well, there he is, Dale Carter. 90 yards to open the second half of play for the touchdown. He is a junior from Oxford, Georgia. And in fact, he has a brother who is extremely good, who plays college football at Grambling. Duncan and Houston in a dual safety for the Florida Gators. As Chapman will kick it off for the Tennessee Volunteers, they have struck like lightning to open the second half. Duncan, can he repeat? He's got one man to beat. And the tackle is made across midfield at the 45 by Jeremy Lincoln. Good heavens, what a start to this second half.
Well, way to turn the tables here by Florida. From the end zone now, he takes it. See if we can see Monty Grow, number 10, come back and blow the hole open. He misses the tackle. You think he isn't fired up to make the play, and Monty comes back and springs him. And they've got great field position now on the 46-yard line.
That's a 53-yard return. 90 on the opening return for Tennessee for the touchdown. Matthews throws it complete. McNabb out of the backfield. And let's take a look at the first half stats. We talked about off the top of the telecast how closely matched these teams were.
Right.
Look at these numbers. One separates them in first downs. in total yardage. That is about 15 yards difference, and that is it. Sacks is the big difference. Tennessee 3 for 21.
They've put a little pressure on Shane, but Shane is riding the pocket well and staying in there. He's had the big drop for the touchdown, though.
Also, possession time, 15:30. That's Tennessee to 14:30. Red fumbled the ball. Tennessee has recovered at the 32-yard line. And that is Lincoln.
Very simple isolation play. Watch middle linebacker number 45, Sean Walker, put it right on the chest, and the ball pops loose, and Jeremy Lincoln falls on it. First down for Tennessee. Great hit by Sean Walker there. You know, we didn't get to see him last game. He got thrown out against Auburn. He's
early in Auburn.
Big-time player.
On a kick return. Well, you could see the expression on Steve Spurrier's face. He thought that they were going to jump back right into it momentum-wise, and they very well could. What a momentum killer to fumble that deep in your opponent's territory in a game like this. Good stick at the line of scrimmage. Culpepper on the bottom. It's Jerry Odom on top. And Thompson didn't have very far to go.
This time again, Tennessee comes. Here's McCray right on Richardson. He pushes him the way he wants to go. They lose a little unbalanced line that time, and he just kind of moved Richardson the way to the outside. In defense for Huey there, he had outside containment, and that's the way he was supposed to go. Good call. Didn't pick up much. Couple yards.
See the blitz coming by Florida. Gets it away, and there's nobody close. Richardson was the man really putting the pressure on Moore, the closest guy to the ball.
Right, nobody close to the pass, but somebody close to Andy Kelly right here, and it's Huey Richardson, the All-American. He comes around the corner. There's no tight end this time. It's all man-on-man, and he takes the short corner. Actually, Antone bumped into his tight end, who was coming up the middle to try to help on a blocking position right there, and that happens a lot. The offensive linemen get knocked off on each other.
Kelly 9 of 19, 1 touchdown, 78 yards. 1 interception, I beg your pardon. This is the reverse. Moore cuts it back to open field, and he's going to be stopped at the 46, and now 3 markers are down, and that's going to be the 15-yard variety for face mask.
Well, this is a call you don't see very often on 3rd and 7, 8, or 9, and Vince Moore gets it, runs a reverse, and gets out there in some broken field running. I want out. I ran 40 yards to the left and 40 yards to the right, and only got the first down, but I went to the sideline. He's going to grab some air here. There you see, right at the end, the face mask. Will White grabs it and yanks down. I wouldn't be surprised. That's a 15-yard penalty right there, because he yanks on it.
Steve Spurrier, knowing that his ball club mentally has suffered a bit of a lapse to open this 3rd period. First, the kick return, 90 yards, and now an intentional face mask, which is 15. So that's as good as a 26-yard run. Thompson, Culpepper wraps him up as he heads forward, and that's going to be inside the 35 to the 33.
Well, I think you're right, Ron. I mean, they've lost they've lost a little bit right here. Florida has to regroup. I mean, this has been a big shock to them. A kickoff return and now a fumble back-to-back. They don't have things like that happen to them often.
You know, it sounds maybe overworked and maybe kind of corny, but boy, at this time right now, poise has really got to be big in your vocabulary, because you're down 14-3 in extremely hostile territory. You certainly don't want to give up 7 more. Kelly rushed, and he overthrows it. That was 54, Mark Murray, who was putting on the pressure, and he decked him back at the 44.
That's half roll again. Amsler tries to block Murray, but he comes off and gets right in his face. And you know, that's what Kelly does so well, and why Coach Fulmer likes him. He gets rid of the ball right there. You know, and instead of taking a sack, he throws it on the grass. Let's tee it up again. It's still 3rd and 5. We can pick it up.
Spear and Groh, that's Del Spear, both into the secondary for Florida. Huge down as far as the Gators are concerned. Drop play to Thompson, and he will have the first down plus about 4. Fee Bartley defensively.
Well, that was real pretty. Both times now in this drive, they've had the opportunity on third down, and they've run it both times. They spread it out a little bit. Look at that line, taking those people on. Getting in their way. All you have to do is get in their way, and a great back's going to find that crease. John Fisher, the center that time. Jerry Odom had him. He's pushing him. And either way he goes, no matter which way Odom goes, he's wrong because Thompson's going to find the crease.
So the change move across the way. Poles is the lone setback. It is first down at the Florida 25. Poles out of the backfield. That's going to be a gain of 8, maybe 9. Carlton Miles, the sophomore from Daytona Beach, defensively for the Gators.
Here's the right side of that offensive line for Tennessee. Antone Davis, Doug Baird, take them on early. Keep your hands up. Keep your feet moving. Push them by the quarterback. Boy, that's nice. You got time to set up and throw the ball, look downfield, and then dump it off to the big guy and keep moving the chains. Boy, you throw a 5-foot pass there and you get 9 yards. That's a lot of fun.
Jim Bates looking on anxiously across the way. 8th play of the drive, and Thompson is going to be tripped up. Culpepper was the first man to hit him, and then Godfrey Miles finished him off.
Culpepper's a master at this. He just kind of slithers through those guys, and he's diving, falling down. He reaches out, and he gets his hand on them right there. All day he does it. He just reaches in. Watch this. This looks like a good play. And he's on all fours. And watch it reach. Effort. Yes. Good job. Brad Culpepper, the junior. 6'2", 265. Not real tall, but he gets in the backfield. Oh. Jim Bates, defensive coordinator, he's going to try to find a trick in that bag somewhere.
Third down, Tennessee, and short. Poles, first down, Volunteers. Hawk tripped him up, also Miles. And the Volunteers have a player who is down.
I believe it was, you know, one of the wide receivers, and I think it was Anthony Morgan, who was down there blocking and couldn't tell what happened, but they just, you know, ran inside. But Morgan definitely is the guy.
His headgear is off, and it looked as though he was holding his eye. I don't know if he got gouged or hit with a shoulder pad in the face or exactly what.
Stuck in the eye again.
I'll tell you, this action has been very fast. We still have 10:03 left in the third period. And if you stepped out for just a second, Dale Carter took the opening kickoff of the second half and went 90 yards for a touchdown. Florida came right back down the field, a 53-yard kick return.
Yeah, it did. He looks like he got it in the eye.
Yeah, I think so. Anthony Morgan, the senior from Cleveland, Ohio, but he's coming off under his own power. 10th play of the drive coming up. Anyway, Florida stalled the drive with a turnover, a fumble, inside the 30-yard line. So rather than having an immediate retort for Tennessee in the third quarter, the Volunteers get it back, and they are driving again. Blitz is on. Thompson runs right into the hole. Touchdown, Volunteers.
Ron, you called it right. It was the blitz, and when you pop one through on those blitzes, that's what happens. Davis and Baird again take them the way they want to go, and he explodes through that line. Just run through. Doug Baird just took it, came down and just pancaked his guy in that play. Great job by Doug Baird there, number 73.
Burke is perfect. Let's take a timeout. Volunteers. Danielson, Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee, 21-3. The Volunteers with 14 unanswered points in the first 5 minutes, 14 seconds of this second half. This will be Duncan from the 5. Turns the corner, and he will be out to the 30-yard line. Dave Thomas defensively.
Ron, one more look here. Watch the combo blocking between center John Fisher, number 51, and left guard Tom Islinski, number 50. They bump off, they get the guy right there double teamed, and then when the action starts again, they get Carlton Miles, who's blitzing. You know, when you blitz, you're always worried about the pass, but when you blitz and you get picked up, that gouges you for those big runs. Thompson, 14 carries, 61 yards, and he slashed up in there very nicely.
Matthews whips it out, has it complete. Darryl Hardy defensively making the play on Barber. Toughest thing for a coach to do right now in the case of Steve Spurrier. They get a little jittery. They're down 18, 14 quick points, but there is a world of time left in this ball game.
Well, I think some coaches may get jittery, but not Steve Spurrier. I mean, this is a guy who made a name for himself by not being jittery as a player. He knows this offense can put points on the board. Just calm down. They'll probably be throwing a lot, though, from here on in.
McClendon close to the 40. Mark Moore, the senior from Charleston, West Virginia, makes the play for the Volunteers. And that should be enough for the Florida first down.
Remember, Tennessee had the big lead against Auburn. Very similar situation. Felt a little bit, they thought they could hold on. They had plenty of opportunities to pick off some balls. Let's just see if they can execute defensively and hold on to this lead.
They set screen to McClendon, and a nice job defensively. Sean Walker was the first man outside to make the hit, and then Ernest Fields came over to help him out.
Walker doing a great job tonight. He's in the situation where he's in and out the field a few times with the nickel situations. He's got different responsibilities. But when he gets near the player, he just delivers a hit. I mean, there he goes off the field. You can see they're going to go to their dime package now.
Zips the pass, complete. Fumbled the ball. They're going to say it was dead at the 48-yard line. Sean Walker again makes the tackle. Well, we keep up with busting the big one as far as big plays and the home runs for Tennessee this year. Carter now goes on top, 90 yards. Harper 2 weeks ago had the 82-yarder against Auburn. Then Thompson with 80. That was against Mississippi State. Right. Thompson at 69 and 52, and Harper with a 52-yard reception. That is a great help to your defense when you got people that can go long distance like that.
Well, Dale Carter, he just made the big tackle there also. I mean, he's just a very fine free safety.
Florida looking to convert their first third down situation. Matthews incomplete.
Going to his tight end on the 3rd and short. They're playing a man coverage underneath. There you see the coverage on the tight end. He breaks to the outside. He knows he's got help deep, so he can cut underneath those throws. It was not a great throw, but it was good enough coverage where Matthews just couldn't lob the ball in there. It had to be a very fine throw. Good coverage.
Receiver downfield. It's brought down.
That penalty against Florida, illegal receiver downfield, declined by the Volunteers. Dale Carter drops off on a single safety as Florida will have to kick it away. Chajewski. Here's a look at Carter. Had the 90-yarder on the kick returned. He was looking at the special teams coach, wanting to know which direction this return was going. Contact at the line of scrimmage, and unless Florida was drawn offside or Tennessee was drawn offside, that's going to be a first down for the Florida Gators.
Ron, when we had lunch with Johnny Majors yesterday, he said what worries him most when it's 4th and short is being offsides, going for the block. I'm really surprised he went for it. He just told us, I don't like to go for the block when it's 4th and short. Got an automatic first down just by having everybody eager and triggered and wired. He's upset. Well, it looks like he's upset with somebody who made the call.
He's got things going his way with 14 points in this quarter, but if Florida scores on this, even 3, but let alone a touchdown, put an asterisk by that last play.
I think that's when you get upset at the coaching staff, because he probably said, I don't like to go for the block when it's 4th and short, just for that reason.
Flag comes down. Matthews is just going to run out of bounds and then is pushed out by Bailey.
Well, that's the flag the quarterbacks don't like to see, because that's the holding flag. And in pass protection, that moves you back. Florida gets the big break, and now they're going to be 1st and 20.
Offensive lineman pulling the face mask, 15-yard penalty.
Wow, this is going to be 15.
He tries to hold and grab anything he can right there, and I actually couldn't see which guy it was there that grabbed it. It's really not important, but it's still a 15-yard penalty, and Matthews just doing his best to get to the sideline.
So the situation after the 15-yard rather than a 10-yard holding penalty, it is first down, but Florida has to go all the way to the 37-yard line of Tennessee. Matthews sets the screen to McClendon. Sean Walker, open field, one-on-one. Wow. Junior from College Park, Georgia. That was a clinic right there.
Well, Sean Walker, he's happy to be on prime time. Last week, he just got to be on the sidelines. This week, he gets in the action. He got thrown out early in the first quarter on a punt. And the rest of the game, he's watching on national, where everybody else playing on national television. He's crying on the sidelines. He's making up for it tonight. Everybody's going to know who Sean Walker is after this game's over.
Tell you what, just a moment ago, Ernest Fields already had recorded 12 tackles. He's having a good one as well. Batted down at the line of scrimmage, and Chris Mims almost made the interception when he batted it down.
Ron, the thing that's really frustrating is they're only rushing 3 guys in this defense. Mims, the 6'6", just puts too much pressure and gets right into his face. On the left side of your screen, you're going to see Mims pop in, and whoa!
You
can't throw over that one.
Almost caught the ball off of Shane Matthews' leg.
Well, you know, in junior college, I was reading about him yesterday. He was the starting center for the junior college basketball team. I can see why. He's blocked a lot of shots like that.
Complete to Trey Everett at the 47-yard line. Not nearly enough for the first down. As Chris Mims again was coming out of the pressure, and listen to the standing ovation for the defense. Oh, buddy, they are fired up tonight. 100 years of Volunteers. This is the 100th anniversary of Tennessee football. It is homecoming. Number 5 against number 9.
Now you can go for the block.
Almost got it, too. Out of bounds around the 25-yard line. Jeremy Lincoln was the man who almost got the block. In 1977, Johnny Major's first season as Tennessee's head coach, this is Kelsey Finch from the 1-yard line. Takes it to the outside and down the sideline. It's 99 yards for the score, the longest run in Volunteer history. But Florida won the game, 27-17. Well, in fact, Florida has won 4 straight. And tonight, young man by the name of Dale Carter came within 9 yards of equaling that Volunteer best. Tony Thompson, nothing on the left side, and look at the cutting ability by Thompson. Where do they keep coming up with these tailbacks? First it was Cobb, then it was Webb, who was injured in the second game of the year, and now it's Tony Thompson.
Ron, let me tell you how they keep coming up with these tailbacks. Charles McCray, Tom Myslinski, John Fisher, Doug Barrett, Antone Davis. These guys are blowing out holes right now, and they're just making it easy. There's a lot of space to run the ball. Nothing against Tony Thompson, but hey, that'd be fun running against a line like that. They are pushing now and creating some space.
He's got 72 yards and 15 carries. Florida with a player shaken up, and it's Jerry Odom. Jerry, the senior out of Merritt Island, who we have talked so much about last year and also last week in the ball game down in Gainesville against the LSU Tigers. He's been a mainstay in the Florida defense, and right now
he was telling the trainer that he got whipped by his leg right there, and that's dangerous when your knee gets whipped like that. There you see on the right side, number 57. Let's keep an eye on him right here and see if it usually is one of your own guys that happens. Yes, it was. He fell over his own man from a different angle right here. He comes in, puts the hit on, and then from behind he gets kind of caught. And actually, Fee Bartley is the one who he rolled over his leg.
And then Antone Davis came over the top of him, and Antone weighs 310 pounds. So Jerry is being helped off the field and favoring, for the most part, his left leg. hopefully that injury is not too serious and we'll see him back. That's one of the great spirited players in college football. He was fun to watch. Play action. Drills it. Oh, caught by Poles. Nope, I got to say he was juggling it. He did not have possession. Ephesians Bartley was right there on him.
Well, Andy Kelly had the tight end wide open, but he threw it to Ambler, and I'm happy he did, because what a catch he made, whether he was out of bounds or not. Watch this hands. I mean, folks, this is a fullback. Watch him grab this ball out and keep it and rip it away. Here, turn. Look at that. What an athlete for a fullback. Tries to keep his foot in.
Good call by the officials. He didn't have.
I kind of want to be his agent. I think this guy's got a great future.
Kelly in his last 10 passes, 3 of 10. Draw play. Hasn't had to throw much with runs like this in the special teams. Thompson finally stopped by Del Spear, the sophomore from Miami.
Ron, we talked about in the pregame what was going to be the Gator problems against this Tennessee offense, and it's really coming out right now. Tennessee is spreading them out. They're forcing them to cover the whole field because they don't like the matchups with those great wide receivers, and they're creating holes with that powerful offensive line.
Difference as far as the offensive and defensive lines. Florida averages 256 per band, which is not small by any means, but the Tennessee offensive line 285 per person, and they are not anywhere close to being what you could consider slow. Fakes it to Amsler, gives it back to the tight end, and Reeves throws a pass. Looking, touchdown Pickens. The Tennessee Volunteers pulling out all the stops, showing a reverse to Von Reeves, throwing the touchdown to Carl Pickens. And now they go on top by a score of 28-3.
What a great call. The running game's been working. There goes Pickens. He kind of jogs down, and then he beats the deep zone. And he just a great throw by Reeves here. You know, a tight end puts it right on the mark to Carl Pickens. Woo!
Take a timeout. 4:40 left in the third period. Tennessee has blown this one open. (28-3). 4 minutes 40 seconds left, third period. Yes, Tennessee has now scored 21 unanswered points in the third period. Chapman to kick it off for the Volunteers.
One more look from behind here. Takes it, he runs to the right. Watch Mike Brandon right in his face when he lets this go. And look at the throw here. I mean, Jimmy Spencer he beats, but you can't ask for a better throw than that. 50 yards downfield and hit a guy dead in stride. I mean, that's tough to play good coverage like that on a trick play. And Spencer was in the general vicinity. Here you go, watch the play. Oh man, turns around. How can anybody throw a pass like that? He's got a cage. How can you throw a pass to the cage like that? Quarterback.
Brian Fox is in at quarterback for the Florida Gators. Zips it over the middle, and it is intercepted by Dale Carter.
Brian Fox is in right here, a little play action pass. He's got him coming across the middle, but he throws it behind him. And what a catch by Carter. One hand, he sticks out the paw and juggles it in, and he had that ball.
Thompson to the left side, breaks it out big, and he is finally going to be stopped by Del Spear, and Del saved another touchdown at the 21.
Florida definitely in shock. I mean, they get hit for a home run ball, and all of a sudden they're back out on the field. There you look at Brian Fox with Steve. They're in deep trouble. They know it. They had to make a change, but, you know, they're running on a good rushing defense.
17 carries for Thompson, 103 yards. First man through to the 20-yard line. Amsler will have a gain of about 1. Brandon and Miles combining on the stop. Boy, this has happened so quickly. We still have 3 minutes and 43 seconds left, third period. Tennessee 28, Florida 3, and now 3 turnovers against the Gators.
And Tennessee has just brought in 4 wideouts, spreading them all over the field.
Drills it, complete to Pickens, and he stepped out of bounds just shy of the 15-yard line. Well, Tennessee got confused on their substitutions, had 12 men on the field. So it's now going to be third down. Ball at the 16-yard line of Florida. And the Volunteers need the 11. Kelly, I don't know if it's a quarterback draw or if he missed his handoff. He's going to lose one on the play as Culpepper was right there.
I think he missed the handoff on that one also, and he turned around and said, well, I'll just run the same hole. Just take it up there. That's where all the blocking's going anyway.
Number 27, Greg Burke, the senior from Key Biscayne, Florida, will attempt a field goal from the 25-yard line. 35-yard attempt. Plenty of distance, and he is no good to the left. So Florida dodges a big one.
There you see the type of reaction Jerry Odom has, and he's got the cast on. He's going with the crutches. You can see it written all over his face right there.
You see what he says, Mom, I'm okay.
You know he's not okay emotionally, though. He knows what's happened to him. I mean, he loves to play football, and now he's got a crutch off the field.
Brian Fox, the sophomore from Winter Garden, Florida. He's a transfer from Purdue in at quarterback. Threw the interception just a moment ago. Gets his pass away. It is intercepted, and he will score. Kelly was pressuring, and Reggie Ingram, who is a freshman from Memphis, Tennessee, cut in front and took it 22 yards for the touchdown. This is unbelievable.
Ron, sometimes as a quarterback coming off the bench, you could try to make too much stuff happen. And that's what Brian Fox is trying to do right here. He's got a lot of pressure on him. He grabs him. Todd Kelly grabs him. He tries to get rid of it. Obviously, he never sees Reggie Ingram, and the freshman's going to take it right into the end zone. Here it is from the quarterback's view again. Look at the hustle by Kelly going through 2 guys, and you can't throw a ball like that when you've got guys all over you. He grabs it, and oh, my God, national television. I'm running in. Put the finger up. Yes. A shocking. Boy, have they thrown the points up. 2 passes for Fox and 2 interceptions, Ron. Boy, a sprint, that's a dream come true, especially for a freshman.
35-3, the Tennessee Volunteers. Our score at halftime was 7-3, and we were locked statistically along with that scoreboard in an extremely tight ball game. And now 28 points without answer from Tennessee in the third. We still have 2:24 left in the third quarter.
Little double clutch on the kickoff there. I don't know what that was all about.
Well, he started forward, and the official said, I didn't blow the whistle. Steve Spurrier. And what must be going through his mind? This is Duncan. Now this crowd will roar with every lick. Jazon Bradley on the hit. And let's see who Florida brings out at quarterback. Brian Fox will come back on. He has thrown 2 passes tonight. Both have been intercepted.
I know exactly how he feels, Ron. I mean, this is a situation you come in, you got a chance to win a game. Right now, you'd be happy just to hit the ground on a pass, you know. I mean, you just want to go out there. Now you want to play for pride. I mean, you want to show that you can come back in this situation.
They set a screen. Caught over the middle by Kirkpatrick. That's the first catch by a Florida tight end tonight, and it's Reggie Ingram.
Ron, the story of this football game, the 2 top stats right here. 3 sacks, 7 hurries, blocked passes, 4 interceptions, obviously, but that's a result of the first 3 things. They have not been able to keep the Tennessee front 4 and sometimes front 3 out of the quarterback's face.
Pass is caught over the middle. Ingram is there defensively to make the stop on Mills, and that will be enough for the Florida first down out at the 33.
Thank God. I mean, he signed a little bit of relief right here. He hit a couple passes, but that one was downfield, and he says, all right, now, let's get going, guys. Let's play some football. You know, there's a lot of people that can play from ahead, but when you play from behind, tough circumstances, you can go out there and play and show what you're made of as a player, as an athlete.
Fox running for his life, and he'll be knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. That's Todd Kelly, who also was playing in reserve tonight. 4 sacks tonight for the Tennessee Vols.
Let's give credit that one to the defensive coverage, though. I mean, Brian had plenty of time to look around and throw the football. He just didn't have anybody open. He tried to scramble right. Kelly, I don't know if he's tired from all the sacks or he actually got hurt, but there was great coverage, and Kelly finally chased Brian down.
Chris Mims will come in. Gary and I will be for the nightcap in Auburn, Alabama. The Seminoles of Florida State. And I would imagine they're going to have something to prove after the licking they took down in Miami against the Auburn Tigers.
A couple teams that throw the ball around all night also, and Stan White continues to throw the ball. He's just an outstanding looking prospect. Just a freshman. Hard to believe sometimes. Redshirt or not, they still got 4 years of eligibility.
Our situation, 43 seconds left, third period. Tennessee 35, number 9 Florida 3. Fumbled the snap, and Florida has recovered at the 30. They're going to lose a couple on the play, but they don't lose the football. Willie McClendon got on top of it.
Well, this is the realization now, I think, Ron, when the Florida team says, you know, we don't even have a bowl game to go to. This is our whole season wrapped in this football game, and they start getting down on themselves a little bit, like it's almost over. They got to finish the game, play hard, and finish out the season also.
And with that, the whistle sound. That is the end of the third period. Tennessee, big. Ron Franklin and Gary Danielson. Take a look at that. Fourth period, we begin. 35-3 Tennessee. Fox going to go up on top. And it is intercepted by Carter, his second of the second half, and he's still on his feet. Steps out of bounds on the sideline. Fox was there to push him out. 3 interceptions by Brian Fox. Barber was his receiver.
Well, this is the Carter show tonight. Primetime Carter show. He goes up. This is like a punt, but he goes up and gets it at his highest point there. He doesn't know if the receiver's behind him. He goes up and grabs it. He just doesn't catch it in his belly. And then watch this guy run. I mean, he's just a beautiful looking athlete. He accelerates there, nowhere to go. Brian Fox pushes him out of bounds. Brian threw the ball too high and too late and was picked off.
Sterling Hinton has come in at quarterback. He is a senior from Passaic, New Jersey, 6'1", 201 pounds. Runs a draw play and straight up the middle inside the 30-yard line it goes. Just take a look at the storyline of this one so far. Carter, 90-yard kickoff return. That's how we started the second half. He also has 2 interceptions in the second half. Tennessee 28 third-quarter points. Turnovers, Florida now 5. Tennessee 1. Thompson over 100 yards rushing and 1 TD.
No doubt those first 3 plays of the second half, the 2 big kickoff returns and then the fumble was really the death blow for Florida. It's just taking them out of their game.
Thompson on the running play. Tries to get by Fee Bartley, and he is right there. Also Mark Murray, number 54, coming backside. And it's a horse race, as are several others, and there are surprising races, like right here in the SEC to an extent. This is Amsler on the draw, pounding his way. Mark Murray is pushing him back, trying to keep him from reaching the 20-yard line, along with Godfrey Miles.
Ron, just a play ago, Tony Thompson limped off, and I think probably half the stands have their eyes on the bench right now, holding their breath. They've lost Chuck Webb. Thompson, I mean, their leading carrier now limps off in a game that's basically put away. That has everyone worried. There you see Tony on the sideline. And
Tavio Henson, who is a sophomore, has come in replacing him. Tavio is 5'10", 183. He spells it first name T-A-V-I-O. Tavio Henson. He gets the call. Let's see what he can do. Straight ahead for a couple. Mark Murray is the one who had him around the ankles. Bartley up on top. It is 4th down. Crowd wanting Johnny Majors to go for it.
That's what it is. It's his left ankle, and he's twisted it just a little bit. And hopefully it isn't bad. I mean, this is a Tennessee team that deserves to have the rest of their people healthy this year after losing Chuck Webb.
So the situation, they will go for it. They are 2 of 2 on 4th down situations tonight. And Florida calls a timeout. So the Gators will stop the clock with 12:04 left in the ball game and trailing by a score of 35. 12:04 left in the ball game. Greg Burke has just come on to attempt a 36-yard field goal. He's missed a couple here tonight, and I think for his psyche, he needs this one right here.
Well, of course, one of them was the big win against Auburn, where, you know, they marched it down there and had the game won if he just puts it through. And yes, there's a lot of games in front of him, and it'd be nice to get back on the track.
Plenty of distance, and he is back on track. Nails it from 36. A little smile creeping through on Burke's face. Hey, that's getting the monkey off your back.
Good job by Coach Majors. I mean, it's not important to this game, perhaps, but there's some games maybe down the road where you'd like to have that confidence, and he's thinking about the future. I mean, this is a team potentially now playing for the national championship. Michigan loses, and that opens everybody up now, because if Michigan on top, if they keep winning, Ron, as you know, they're going to go to the Rose Bowl. No one's going to get a shot at them.
Well, speaking of the Rose Bowl, 100 years of Volunteers. That's what they're celebrating tonight. In 1939, the Tennessee Volunteers headed west to the Rose Bowl for a matchup against Southern California. Now, to get to California from Knoxville, the Vols took a 4-day train trip. There were many stops along the way. In fact, some of those stops were for practices, like the one you're looking at in El Paso, Texas. When the Vault Special pulled into Los Angeles, Knoxville native and Hollywood director Clarence Brown threw a star-studded Christmas Day party, including Lana Turner. Tennessee lost the game to Southern Cal 14-7, but has very fond memories of the trip. Go back to live action on the kick return. The Gators bring it out to the 23-yard line. Trailing now by 35 points. Kyle Morris, a junior from Clinton, Mississippi, has come in at quarterback. 6'4", 214, a junior. Fumbles the snap from center. It has been picked up by Reggie Ingram of Tennessee. And the Volunteers will have the football at the 23-yard line. 6 turnovers, Florida Gators.
Well, Reggie Ingram must have done a lot right last night because he's been the beneficiary. Everything's bouncing right to him, interception right to him, and now there's a fumble. That happens all the time as a quarterback. When you fumble it, the line just backs up into you, and you can't get at the ball. You change quarterbacks again. Both changes have caused a fumble right there by the quarterback-center exchange. To tell you the truth, though, Ron, I think they could bring in John Elway with the type of pressure that Tennessee's putting on him right now. It's not going to have any effect on this game.
Sterling Hinton again at quarterback for the Volunteers. Tavio Henson takes it close to the 20-yard line. I think you can look for Tennessee to be extremely conservative, because the last thing Johnny Majors wants to do, he does not want to run it up. And he knows that this one is well in hand. As you look at Jim Bates, the defensive coordinator for the Gators, what a nightmare this has been for him. He is a Tennessee graduate. And you know that this one was extremely special in coming back home to Knoxville. But regardless of the dreams he had about this one, I'm sure he didn't have this dream.
Right, he was really fired up for the game.
Yeah, he really was. Gonna run it, drills the pass, incomplete. Morgan dropped it. That's a tough throw as Sterling Hinton trying to get his shoulder squared.
You got to be able to recognize that's Dale Carter. I could tell that. Couldn't you tell that was Carter? Little ice bag on there right now, and he's got the little injury right now, but anybody could tell. That's Dale Carter's foot. That was easy. Kind of tricked me down there, giving me an isolation like that. Nice job, Carter. Little sprain for Carter. Look at him. Hey, way to go, baby. Way to turn this game around.
Now, 90-yard kick return and 2 interceptions. But they have the Crimson Tide coming in here in just 1 week, and I'm sure that with both Carter and Thompson on the bench with ankle injuries right now, that Tennessee has to be fretting over that a little bit. Tavio Henson and decked at the 15-yard line. Del Spear made the stop defensively, and I'm telling you, Hinton almost had his head taken off after the pitch.
Did he ever? I'll tell you, watch it. You want to like to run the north? Watch Timmy Paul come down after the option right here. Whoa. Now that's a penalty. He hit him with the helmet right in the face like that. That should be a penalty. You can't get away with that type of thing. He didn't try to wrap him up or tackle him. He speared him in the head to head with your helmet. That should be called.
4th down. 1.5 yards to go. Tennessee leaves the offense on the field rather than going for the field goal. Henson, 1st down plus about 6. Will White defensively.
What I like about this is they're giving some of their backups some time to play. I mean, you're right. They're coming up with Alabama. They still have to play Notre Dame. What happens if Andy Kelly goes down, or perhaps they're not moving the ball? Let's give Sterling some snaps and let him run the ball and let him have some offense and get ready for the rest of the year. You're playing for the national championship right now. You just don't want to fall on the ball and kick field goals. Give them snaps. Give them opportunities to play.
1st down, Tennessee at the Gators' 7-yard line. Henson tried to make a little stagger step to the left, and then Mark Murray stepped up and staggered him even more, and the senior from Apopka dropped him.
Here comes the track team in. Harper, Pickens, Vince Moore. That'll spread everybody out. Watch him run the quarterback draw, or the draw up the middle again.
Going to hold on to it, and he is out of bounds just inside the 2. They're going to mark him out at the 1. Godfrey Miles was there defensively, and it's going to be 3rd down and goal, Tennessee, from 1 yard away.
Boy, Hinton can run. I mean, he didn't have great leverage right there that time, and he just took it right to the 1-yard line. I mean, that was really good movement by Sterling. Of course, he went out in an Alabama game last year, and Andy Kelly just hasn't given him the job back. He hasn't lost yet as a starter, and that's tough. You go out, you might not get back on the field.
Fakes it to Henson, and Hinton will score.
Well, you got to be happy for Sterling Hinton. Last year's starter at the beginning of the season. He comes back in and has some success. I'm sure all his teammates are real happy for him. Yeah, way to go. Way to get back in. We still love you, guy. We can win with you if we need you. Little option. Gives you a little dimension that Andy Kelly doesn't have. He tucks it up in there, an easy touchdown, and a nice series for Sterling Hinton. And if he has to play in a couple weeks, he's got some action now.
Burke makes it 45-3, Tennessee. A break in the action. 9:01 left of the ball.
Whoa, that's rubbing a little salt in the wound right there. Get him the little gator. That's a little gator cheer right there, and they're giving it right to him. This one, it gets nasty.
Houston, he got a big opening on the right side. Cut it back to the middle, though, as he crosses the 30 to the 31. And look, well, Tim, it's going to be Kyle Morris in at quarterback again for the Gators. Malone in a tailback, and he will take it near the 35. Kendra Malone is a true freshman. It's 5'8", 169. That's his 7th carry of the year.
Hey, I love you, baby. I love you, Mom. Oh, yeah, that's fun. There's no better feeling, Ryan, you know this. No better feeling than to take off the helmet, sit back on the sideline, say, okay, guys, what are we doing after the game? Where are we going to go out? This is fun. What rankings are we going to have next week? Boy, that's really fun.
Malone, they tried the sweep, gets the corner turn, puts a head down, and bangs his way forward across the 40. Lance Nelson was the man that he put his headgear in the stomach of, close to a first down. Well, Gary, off the top of the show, we talked about the suspension of 3 Tennessee players, and would it have an effect? And obviously it hasn't.
Well, the game was close early, but, as I say, sometimes, I mean, the university, obviously, it's an embarrassing situation, and it's a very serious situation, but the players are getting ready to play, and they want to play this football game, and they feel for their friends, but it usually doesn't disrupt the game plan or how you're emotion to play.
On first down for the 41, Malone bounces off a couple of tacklers. We said he only weighed 169. He got turned around like a top as Ingram and J.J. McCluskey combined on the stop. But he's close to another first down. It's a gain of about 9 yards.
You can gain a lot of respect from your teammates in these situations, because everybody's going to watch this game film, and they see you playing until the gun goes off and playing hard and running and getting every inch. Believe me, your teammates notice who lays down when the score gets out of hand. Everybody play and finish the game.
Play action, zips it, and almost intercepted by Walker. Well, in points per game, the NCAA leaders, Virginia on top at 51.4. Indiana's second, and Tennessee at 41.6. And tonight they have scored 45 points against a really fine Florida defense.
Oh,
that
really?
don't mean your run-of-the-mill defense.
Hey,
I'm talking about a really good one.
There you go. Mom, Dad. That's it. Celebrate. Have a good time. It isn't this much fun every night. Enjoy it while you can.
Malone. Well, don't forget, coming up at the end of the ball game, we'll be selecting our Visa players of the game. One from each school. Scholarship money and also money that Visa sends forward to the U.S. Olympic Committee. And now those distant stares across the way on the Florida bench as you look at Dale Carter, who injured an ankle in the 4th period. Time for reflection, and this is going to be a tough one for Florida, because they have gone against some extreme odds this year and have played so very well. But the third period proved to be the big difference. That one just lopped it up there into almost triple coverage, not intercepted, but could have been.
Yeah, they had a fight over that one. There was 3 guys camped under that one. It kind of slipped from his hand, and you know, it's just not. Kyle Morris had a guy he could have thrown to, but threw it way too high and way too late.
6 minutes and 18 seconds left to play in this one. Tennessee 45-3.
You know, this is really the first time Florida, I mean, on the road, AstroTurf, a big game, and I mean, this is a very quality team. They're playing with a lot of great skill athletes, and they just haven't been able to match up tonight after the kickoff return.
Go with the draw play, Kendra Malone. And he is close to a Florida first down at the 42. Reggie Ingram, who's in at middle linebacker and has really accounted well for himself tonight. An interception for a touchdown and also a fumble recovery. Made the defensive stop.
Ron, let's give a little salute to Larry Lacewell, the defensive coordinator for Tennessee. He came up with the scheme, used nickel backs, used 3 linemen rushing, used dime backs, and took away the tight end, the things that Florida wanted to do, and it's given the Florida offense major problems. Of course, you know, he's had some people that have been able to athletically put some pressure on the quarterback also.
Pass zipped over the middle, and that one is intercepted. Preston Warren, I believe, yeah, a senior from Knoxville, makes the pickoff. 7 turnovers against the Florida Gators.
Ron, let me tell you what it's like playing defensive back out there right now. It's like being in the stands and catching batting practice for one of the fans out there. These balls are just flying into the stands. You're just out there. You're the beneficiary. Yep, another souvenir. Everybody, all the defensive backs want one now. They just get out there. Put me out there, coach. I can cover them. Just put me in center field. I mean, everybody's just out there. It's interception after interception. Shane Matthews, and he's looking at it, trying to figure out what went wrong.
McCroskey, Clemens McCroskey, a sophomore from Shelbyville in the carry. And thanks, Timmy. 5:26 left in the ball game, and who would have thought this?
Whoa.
McCroskey again in the carry.
Whoa.
Takes it to around the 45-yard line. Monty Groh is coming to replacing Will White, and he makes the stop.
Yeah.
Now this homecoming crowd is really enjoying this one.
They might even put that guy in next. I mean, they got enough of a lead right now that they can just put. They got it all going their way tonight. One of those nights. It happens sometimes.
That's right. Sometimes the magic works and sometimes it doesn't. And you've seen it so many times that when things go downhill, all of a sudden you cannot retrieve it.
Right.
And 7 Florida turnovers is so totally uncharacteristic.
Well, a lot of those turnovers, you got young kids trying to come in there as a quarterback and trying to make something happen in the secondary and taking chances that they normally wouldn't take. And as a quarterback, you just got to read the play the way it's supposed to go. But the trouble is, they just had so much pressure in their face all night tonight.
Kenneth Campbell getting a chance to carry. He is a freshman on the squad last year as a redshirt freshman out of Chattanooga. 4 interceptions, 3 fumbles. Total of 28 Tennessee points because of those miscues. McCroskey in the draw. Tries to take it outside. He's going to be wrapped up at the 41. That's Carlton Miles. Well, next Saturday, we got college football with Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, and Charlene Hawks. And then the triple header gets started. As what has been a very crazy college football season, particularly the last 3 weeks, probably will continue.
Tennessee's missing a guy. Yep.
Tennessee only has 10 men on the field. That triple header next week is going to be wrapped up with Florida State at Auburn. We'll tell you about the other 2 games in just a moment. Right now, there's a timeout on the field with Tennessee leading by 40. Thought to be a very close football game, and in fact, it was for the first 30 minutes. 7-3 at halftime with Tennessee, and then they came up with 28 points in the third period and just blew it open. 7 Florida turnovers. Hinton on the keep will take it enough for the first down as the Volunteers will move it to the 38. Let's take a look at the remaining schedule for the Tennessee Volunteers. And remember, they played 12 games this year because of the early start in one of the kickoff classics. They get Alabama next week, then Temple, then Notre Dame in here on November the 10th. And Lou Holtz, if no one has told you yet, let me be the first to say this is not a friendly place to play, and it's a very good football team. Then they go to Memphis to take on Ole Miss, then Kentucky in here on the 24th, and they close it out against cross-state rival Vanderbilt.
You know, what a 6-week schedule they've had. Of course, they've already played Florida, Ron, but then they had Auburn. I mean, they already played Colorado. Then they've had Auburn, Florida, Alabama, Notre Dame, and now Ole Miss, which is going to, coming up. I mean, they're in the schedule, too. If they can go through this undefeated the rest of the way, I think they deserve to be the #1 team in the country.
Of course, they got Alabama coming up this week.
Right.
And I'm sure 2 of the guys down there with ice on their ankles is very big, and it's Tony Thompson and also Dale Carter. Didn't make the first down, so Florida takes it over on downs. And now we will see a lot of young faces in the ballgame to just try to get some playing time. Here are some numbers in the second half. Florida, second half yardage, a total of 80. Tennessee, 217.
Last week, Florida was the beneficiary of some special teams and turnovers and getting the ball in good field position. This week, the big kickoff return and then the fumble right after that has really been turned the table of this game.
Well, check it back 2 weeks ago as Auburn was the beneficiary and took good advantage in the second half to come from way down. Shazan Bradley will make the defensive play on Malone. Going to be a loss of the play, and now it's 3rd down, and Florida needs to take it out around midfield. On a case you haven't heard, #1 Michigan knocked off today by 1 point in that huge rivalry cross-state up there, beaten by Michigan State.
You know, Shazan Bradley, that's an interesting story right there. I mean, he started at middle linebacker last year, and this year he's got 12 starts last year at middle linebacker, and this year he's playing defensive tackle.
Draw play to Malone. He's going to be wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Another of the great rivalries played today. You saw right here earlier on ESPN the battle between the Red River States. Texas coming from behind to whip Oklahoma by 1. Ole Miss scoring 28 points against Georgia between the hedges. That's another big one as far as this conference is concerned. Krzyzewski to punt. 5 kicks tonight for him for an average of 33 yards per punt. This is his best kick of the night. Faulkner gets by 1 tackler, and boy, does he take a shot at the 22-yard line. Time now for our Visa Players of the Game. And our player from the University of Florida is Tim Paulk. And from the University of Tennessee is Dale Carter. And as part of their continuing effort to further the development of amateur athletics, Visa proud to donate $1,000 to each of these universities and $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team on behalf of these athletes. Steve Matthews in at quarterback, and he is a freshman out of Tullahoma, 6'4", 194 pounds. Tracy Smith, who has been a defensive back and now at running back, 5'9", 181 pounds, Jonesboro, Georgia. He gets a chance to carry. There's a look at Thompson on the sideline.
Come on, tell us, you okay? We want to hear. He looks like he's okay.
103 yards, 18 carries, 1 touchdown. And he might be going over to Dale Carter saying, hey, why didn't I win the player of the game?
Well, we've come to expect those 100 yards from him now. You know, I mean, he's gotten into us, and we've seen him, and we know what he can do.
Smith gets to the outside. Falls out of bounds at the 45-yard line. That's going to be good for 17 yards. And this is one of the youngsters that we watched at practice the other day. And Johnny Major said because of a shortage at tailback, they had moved him over from defense, and that they thought he was going to wind up being a very good one. And you could see by his agility right there, he could be another in a long list of good Tennessee tailbacks. Kirkpatrick for the University of Florida. He is a fine one, and tonight Another key to Florida's lack of success was Tennessee's defensive job on Kirkpatrick.
And as we talk, give some credit to the scheme, the defensive scheme. Coach Larry Lacewell devised something and says, listen, I'm going to take that tight end away from him.
Let's let the crowd count it down on this homecoming 1990. So the Tennessee Volunteers coming into tonight's ball game as a slight favorite over the Florida Gators, win and win convincingly, 45-3. Gary.
Well, halftime we looked at a score that was 7-3. We said, boy, we got a great game going here, a defensive struggle. Just shows you again the special teams play. An explosive Dale Carter just busted a 90-yard kickoff return, and then following that, the key fumble turned the game upside down for Florida, and they were out of it from then on.
So the Tennessee Volunteers certainly are going to improve on their number 5 ranking. How high will they go?